today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a semi-chunky crochet skirt. I'm using my 5mm crochet hook and some yarn that I got off of Amazon. I'm going to show you guys the sizing. Oop, no, I'm not. I don't know if I'll be showing y'all. But if you just type in chunky yarn on there, it'll pop up. I love this color and I had to do it. The color is mustard. And here I'm just unraveling all of the yarn before I start. Y'all already know I like the yarn to be laid out. Now I'm going to start with a slip knot and pull that yarn through and leave a little space for me to insert my hook and pull that extra string tightly. Now I'm going to go ahead and start stitching until I get to the length of my waist. And in order to do this, sorry, I'm going so fast. I'm going to yarn over, pull through the loop, and continue. So my waist measures 26 inches, and so I did about 80 stitches in total. And this yarn does stretch, so you don't want to do too many stitches, or else when you put the skirt on and you get it all the way up to your waist, it's gonna be a little big. And of course you want it to be tight fitted. Well, I do. So I only did about 80 stitches in total to start. So now I'm just trying to turn my yarn until the front of the braid is facing me, if that makes sense, if you guys can see it. I want the braid to be facing me so that when I connect the braid from the very first stitch, you guys will see that part. When I connect the braid from the very first stitch, I don't want anything to be tangled up and crisscrossed and looking crazy, okay? Normally you'll be able to tell how it looks if I was using a smaller yarn, but since it's a bigger size yarn, you're kind of not gonna tell how crazy it would actually look if you don't twist that yarn all the way around. I don't know, this part is necessary, but it isn't. Honestly, it just depends on how you want your piece to look. I don't know if you guys want to do that step or not, but I do it. And now I'm just going to connect to the very first stitch that I did and add 2 extra stitches, and then I'm going to do double crochet stitches for the entire piece. Oh, and when you're connecting it, you're gonna do a slip knot. Sorry. So if you're new to crocheting and you don't know how to do a double crochet stitch, you're just going to yarn over, go through that loop, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2, and you're just going to continue that pattern. So as you guys can see, for this first row, I'm inserting my hook onto the left side of the braid, which is also the top half. And on any other row besides this first one, we will be inserting our stitches into the left and the right side of the braid. But you'll be able to see that later on. And another tip is that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're not missing any stitches, or else you will have a slight hole or patch in your skirt, and we aren't going for that look this time. And if this is your first time ever making a skirt, another tip would be to make that beginning row, which is the row that we did before the double crochet stitches. You want to make sure that after you measure your waist with your tape measure, that starting row is a little shorter than your waist length. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be a little tight. You definitely want to make sure that it's shorter than your actual waist length so that it does fit properly. And we are going to go ahead and increase throughout the skirt so that it fits your bottom if your bottom is a little thicker than your waist or wider than your waist. So here I'm just finishing up my last few double crochets for this row. And now that we're at the end, I'm going to connect it right at the top of those 2 additional stitches that I did at the beginning of the first row. And we're going to go ahead and slip stitch that. And this is how your first row should look. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch an additional 2 and do the same exact pattern all over again. I really hope that you guys haven't been looking at the ashiness on my hand right there, and I hope that me announcing that didn't direct your eyes to look there. Yeah, just don't worry about that. don't worry about it, please.
catheters? Are you tired of using messy lubricant? Depending on your insurance, you could be eligible to receive up to 200 catheters shipped to you every month for free, simply by calling Comfort Medical right now. You can use a new catheter every time you catheterize. And Comfort Medical has the latest styles with no need for lubricant from leading manufacturers. It's simple. Comfort Medical will deal directly.
Now, the other part of that is Stillman is a black college. And you made a statement about how you felt that the University of Alabama was racist. Why would you want to go to a school if you're thinking that school is racist in the racist South?
Maybe I can bring something special to the school to change minds, to add to conversation.
So that makes sense to me if you want to go because of you.
Well, the things that I find important are not necessarily in the academic world.
But Mr. Hunt wrote you 4 exams.
Yes.
Because initially your boyfriend was talking about going to Stanford and USC and UCLA.
Yes.
And you were like, then I want to go to Stanford. And I want to go to UCLA. And I want to go to USC.
And Berkeley, sir.
Did I ask you a question?
No, sir, I simply want
So then you're good.
Yes, sir.
Do you see why I can't get my money back?
Are you still with boyfriend?
Yes. I mean, it's hard for me. It's
So
easier request.
and so where are you at now?
Emotionally?
I don't care about your emotions. Where are you at physically in
I'm
terms
still
of
in
school?
Topanga. I'm still in Topanga.
So the bottom line is you didn't even enroll into a community college?
I'm taking a pause. I'm taking a break to process the fact that I wasn't able to achieve my dream of living and being and studying with my boyfriend.
Okay. See, part of it is, and I have to remember, you're young, and you were with this boyfriend since junior.
8th grade. It's so sweet, and I really wanted this
So
to
what
work.
did he think about what you were doing?
Well, I did find it funny that he didn't tell me about the whole Alabama thing.
Yes, he did. He told you to not tell you, because what he was telling you was, I don't want you to go to the same school as me.
No, that can't be it.
If you've been with him since the 8th grade, and he tells you about the other colleges, and you apply to those colleges, and then he up and turns and goes to another school and doesn't tell you.
So, have you told him that we're perfectly capable of sketching our own newspaper?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm now on row 4, and this row is going to be a little different. Wait, no, this is row 5. Okay, now that we're on row 5, this row is going to be a little different, and the top of these skirts, I'm just going to kind of give you guys a visual. The top of the skirt, when I tried it on, I do try it on as I go so I can make sure it's fitting me perfectly. The top of the skirt is reaching probably right under my belly button, and the way that I start increasing, I wait until the length of the skirt is right above my butt, like literally right at the top, and then I start to increase on that part. I think my butt measures 32 or something. 32 or 34, I actually forgot, but it's about almost 10 inches more than my waist. So I increase right before I get to my butt, and since this skirt is chunky and it does stretch, I only did 1 row of increases, and it still ended up being a perfect size. So the way that I increased for the 5th row is I only did 4 increases for this row in total, and I picked 4 random even spots around the skirt, and in those 4 spots around this entire 5th row, only 4 spots, I did 2 double crochet in 1 stitch instead of just 1. And then in all the other stitches, I did just 1 double crochet.
First, I'd like to say you have every right to be upset. If I got a letter like that, I'd be a little scared too.
Let's be clear, Detective. Nobody's scared. We're pissed off is what we are.
Oh, I get it. But here's the good news. Westfield's maybe the safest town in America. I've been on the force for many years now, and in all my time, there have been 0 instances of violent crime. No murders. Got a few disappearances here and there, but that's it.
Disappearances.
I gotta say, I don't think you're in danger. and I'm not sure there's much we can do, if I'm being honest.
I think there's a lot you could do. You could analyze the handwriting. You could run DNA where they lick the stamp in the envelope.
Sure. We could do that. Takes about a month, but if that makes you feel comfortable, right?
I'm so sorry, you guys can probably hear my Netflix show playing. By the way, I was watching The Watcher on Netflix. Y'all, that was a great show. Let me not be too dramatic on great. Okay, I give it like a 7 out of 10. Only because the ending kind of made me upset. Like, why would y'all end it like that? But it was still a pretty good show, even though some of the characters kind of pissed me off. Like, y'all just gotta watch it. It was good though.
Make sure there's a squad car going by in a few hours. Send a message for looking out for you. We know how deep you had to dig to afford that place, so we want to make you feel welcome. We want to make you feel safe. And you are safe. Okay?
What do you think he meant by that? How he had to dig deep to afford the house. How does he know?
Hey there, neighbor!
Hey! Can I just ask what's going on here? Why you're in my garden? Well, I'm Dean.
And this is Mitch, and I'm Maureen. My friends call me Mo.
Big Mo.
And we were wondering if you could get your daughter to stop playing that piano.
We're buying a keyboard, maybe with some headphones?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really understand because, my wife and we can't get her to play that thing.
And to answer your question that you practically shot it, we are doing what we've done for the past 20 years, which is getting in our vitamin D and harvesting the wild arugula that goes on.
We used to call it rocket. Now it's all French, gotta call it arugula. Or else they're racist or some piece of bullshit like that.
Okay. You are on my property.
All I'm doing is harvesting the arugula that I planted and is migrated from my side of the fence.
Yeah, well, can you just pick the arugula that's growing on your side of the fence?
I just told you it migrated to this side of the fence. Here's how the sun goes. Full sun, full sun, full sun, full sun, blah. Now, if you were arugula, which side of the fence would you pick?
Basic fucking horticulture, friends.
Well, hey, how did you get in here anyway?
Through the hole in the bushes, Sherlock. Only been there for 50 years. I mean, who is this guy? Did he even look at this house before he bought it? You know? Did you been
I think I made this skirt in probably less than an hour. Y'all, it was really easy to make this. Plus it's a bigger size yarn, well, a thicker size yarn, so it does cover more ground on your body, if that makes sense. It doesn't take as much effort to make a piece if the yarn is this thick. And I only did about 10 rows total. If you do want a shorter skirt, of course, do less rows. And if you do want a longer skirt, you should definitely add more rows. But I kind of wanted mine to give mini skirt slash not a mini skirt, if that makes sense, because I didn't want like the bottom of my butt to be showing. But yeah, I mean, if you want yours to be showing, then okay, then it's per. But not today, guys. Not today. So here I'm just doing my last few double crochet stitches, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the next beginning row. I'm not gonna stitch an extra two. I'm gonna cut my yarn off, slip stitch, and close tightly. I'm sorry, pull tightly. And now I'm gonna hide that extra string of yarn so that we don't have anything hanging down and looking a little ratchet. And after that, you guys, we are done. I'm gonna show you guys some after pictures as well. It was super cute, easy, and fun to make this. Yes, it is for beginners and experts. You should be able to make this if you're a beginner, okay? It's only the double crochet stitches. And don't be in the comments asking me, is it for beginners? Because it's in the caption. I mean, in the, what is that? In the label. That's not the caption. I know what I'm talking about. It's in the label of the video, and I'm telling y'all now, it is for beginners, okay? Just watch the video. You're only doing double crochet stitches. Don't overthink it too hard, and measure your body so that you know how big or small you have to make your piece. All right, I will see you guys on the next video, period. And I'm finna show y'all, I finally recorded me in this skirt, so y'all about to see. So this is it. All the time, don't mind the top. I didn't try to match, even though I should have. Super cute. It is twerkable as well. I'm not gonna twerk y'all. Okay.